Wow, what an episode, right? This show just continues to take these cute little characters that are so heartfelt and then just rip their hearts out. First Gummy Goo and now Kinger. There's a formula there really is. Take something cute and then make it suffer.
We are literally in hell right now. Hell! Of course I'd be in hell. How could I not be in literal hell right now?
Now, I know I said I would not talk about another episode of Digital Circus, like after the last episode, but I can't help myself. I feel like we're seeing history unfold before our very eyes. To see something of this quality, to see it come out this frequently, to see it make history on YouTube, yeah, I kind of want to, record this and talk about it and keep up with the story and see where it goes. By the way, spoilers ahead. It's also kind of funny because for episode 3, it was hinted at being like horror, because it's kind of got Halloween energy to it and takes place in a haunted mansion. But honestly, these scary little monsters in this episode are nothing compared to the themes of existential dread, which I feel the show does a great job of taking that particular theme and pairing it with the, I wouldn't say indomitable human spirit, but stoicism, to band together with your family, with your friends, your found family, and that's enough to stand up against the darkness. I'll get into it here in a bit. And once again, just to make it perfectly clear, spoilers. Now, before we get into the actual episode, I just want to say it is crazy to see Netflix pick up Digital Circus. And I don't mean as in buying it, it's more of a licensing thing. The creative control of the show still is in the hands of Glitch Productions. Netflix is just kind of hosting it, which is incredible. What legitimacy? That is insane to see. We see it with Hazbin Hotel, with Amazon Prime, and now we see it in a different capacity with Digital Circus on YouTube, the main platform, and then also on Netflix. That's amazing. I'm sure there are folks who are like, wait, that's an option? Yeah, it is. It's not the first time it's ever happened, but it's a big win. For them to maintain creative control and also get exposure and supplemental income, that's awesome. Everybody wins. We also kind of have confirmation because of Netflix that there will be 9 episodes of this season for Digital Circus. What's kind of hinted at before with Goose's tweet about the roadmap of the show for the season. But I guess the big question is, will there be a season 2? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe a new cast of characters, who can say? And I'm kind of conflicted because part of me believes that when you look at The Simpsons or King of the Hill, it's around season 3 or so where you really see the characters find their footing. But then again, that's a character-driven slice of life versus a story-driven show. It's a different animal. Look at Over the Garden Wall. That was one succinct season and was excellent. So if that's the case for Digital Circus, let's go in there, tell our story, and wrap it up. Hey, I respect it.
Welcome back, my meowing milkmaids.
Don't ever call us that again.
But real quick. Yes, stop right there, criminal scum. This video is brought to you by today's sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is still America's #1 meal kit that makes cooking pretty freaking easy. The packaged ingredients come with instructions that would make IKEA shake in their unassembled boots. They even have more options to support your culinary journey than ever before. Menu, please. You can pursue their biggest menu yet with 50+ dinner options and even more market items that suit any healthy lifestyle. Meat and veg, vegetarian, perhaps even pescatarian. What Pokemon is that? I'll have one of each, waiter. And are you ready for a tasty treat? Because HelloFresh is now serving up a breakfast. Breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day. I used to skimp out on breakfast every day like an idiot, leaving me totally malnourished and struggling throughout my mornings. But now it's my favorite meal of the day. I always make sure to start my days with a good meal, and it can be yours too. No, you can't have my breakfast, but HelloFresh is here to kickstart a new school year of nutritious and delicious recipes and to beat the morning blues with free breakfast. For life while your subscription is active. That's one delicious breakfast item packaged in your big green HelloFresh box forever. Guys, summer's done. Life is fleeting. Forget about it. You gotta focus on the now. And HelloFresh is there with ya. making sure to meet your cravings and satisfy your cooking needs with customizable preferences and pre-portioned meals so that you only pay for what you need. So click on that big old description box down below the video and get started on sorting yourself a meal plan that's right for you. Click on my link down below to get 10 free meals plus breakfast for life. Folks, y'all have no excuse to not eat breakfast after this. So go get it! Thank you again, HelloFresh, for partnering up with us. And now, back to the video.
You know, I'm starting to think...
Okay, let's talk about episode 3. We got 3 plot points. The synopsis, Kane has another world, he's like the dungeon master. Here's today's game. It's a haunted house. The entire gang goes except for Zubul. The C plot is Ragatha and Gangle and Jax picking one door, while Kinger and Pomni go down another because a mask was thrown down there for Gangle by Jax, and Kinger said, I'll go get it, and there you go, Kinger and Pomni are now stuck down the bad door. The other door, being with Ragatha, Gangle, and Jax, was the good door. They have tea, it's wonderful. There's some rope play for Jax. Enjoy that, Tumblr. Also, this ghost girl, very cute design, love her. The B plot is Zubul, who stays behind, and they stay with Kane, who has like an impromptu therapy session with Zubul. It's interesting. It's like, who's actually, on the couch here? Who's the therapist and who's the patient? There's discussions about Zubul and their body dysmorphia, how they never feel quite right. Kane seems a bit like hard-headed with understanding what Zubul's problem actually is, because Kane's like, oh, just, here's a box of parts, problem solved. It's a bit more nuanced than that. For Zubul, they're trying to understand, trying to find peace with their body. So as far as like for those who have body dysmorphia, this theme speaks pretty loudly, and having Zubul's character design lean into that theme is pretty smart. Also, there's like parts where it kind of hints at Kane, where it's like, yeah, we all kind of know that he's like the ringmaster, he's this rogue AI. Well, rogue, we don't actually 100% know that. There's a mystery to it all. But Kane here, just talking about, what do you mean people don't like my games I come up with in my scenarios? It seems that Kane is well-meaning, but it's like a square peg going through a round hole where he doesn't quite understand that he's like torturing the gang who are stuck there. It adds the mystery, of course, of like, why are they there to begin with? What is Kane? Is Kane actually is he malicious? No, I don't think he's malicious. I think he's just kind of ignorant, or just, again, his programming is make these scenarios not knowing that they're not fun. Kane kind of loses it for a second too. The world starts to kind of like fall apart with him not being able to come to terms that the gang are not having fun with his scenarios. I find that interesting. So a little bit of a thread there they can pull and see what happens. It might undo the entire tapestry. But the main thing here is the A plot with Pomni and Kinger. They jump through the bad door trying to find Gangle's mask, and they find themselves in, honestly, hell. There's an angel there with a distorted face. I say distorted, a long face, like the Nostalgia Critic's face. And then also the angel's body with the eyeballs and the wings. It's a cool design. But Kinger has always been seen as like the insane character, the guy who's been there for the longest, and he's kind of lost it. Meanwhile, Pomni's kind of like coming to terms where it's like, this is my life now. I'm in hell. It's literally hell. But they're trying to get to the scenario, which is interesting because there's parts with this theming, with like this tape with some guy recounting his life. You wonder, wait, is this Kinger? Is Kinger like the guy and who died here? Or at least is there a parallel? There's a slight parallel. Something about this like scientist trying to find some demon, and his wife, I think she was killed by the guy, which again is not a tit for tat for Kinger's story, but there are parallels. Which, by the way, it's confirmed, Kinger had a wife, I forget her name, Queenie? But she was abstracted. We find out that Kinger prefers the dark, that it helps him find peace because it was dark when he saw his wife abstract. So whenever we see him in his pillow fort, whenever there's a bucket over his head in the last episode, he kind of becomes more sane because the darkness gives him more clarity. Which is it's sad because it makes me think about the Ice King with Simon, or Old Man McGucket from Gravity Falls. We get the older guys who've kind of lost their minds, but they used to be something, and now they're damaged goods. And I see that with Kinger, and just seeing him tell Pomni, like, we can hold on. We can stay strong and pull through this. You're stronger than you think, Pomni. It's beautiful. It's like a really, really good episode digging into Kinger, which at first in the first episode, I thought, Kinger seems like a whatever character. He's fun, but what about Pomni? What about Ragatha and Jax? And it's like, well, here comes Kinger. We're gonna hit you where it hurts. An old man who cries. And he doesn't cry, but you feel bad for him. You feel pity and his insanity and missing his wife. And it's cool seeing like Kinger be like the older guy who's like providing love and like mentoring Pomni, being like, if I can do it, you can do it. We can get through this together. Which is good for Pomni, considering like the last episode she like was existentially, shot with both barrels, with the crocodile gummy goo getting, he's just some NPC, don't even exist. Do I even exist? And it's like out of the frying pan and into the fryer.
Every day I spend here is one nightmare after the next. I knew it would end up like this. He just wants me to suffer. I really am in hell.
Again, I really see the theme in this episode of like the stoicism and the spirit of a person to persevere, where you don't feel quite right, whether it's your location, the folks you're with, how you feel as an individual and your shortcomings, and just that, struggle of day to day trying to get through. And you lean on your loved ones and your friends to push through. I see that with her, with, Ragatha and her love for Pomni and supporting her, trying to be positive. Kinger, also trying to give a pep talk to Pomni. That's a big theme for the show, in my opinion, in my eyes, is perseverance. It's also interesting, like, duality between Kinger, who likes darkness, it helps him think clearly, but when he holds his breath, which is established at the start of the episode where each character can hold their breath and he won't die, and certain things happen to them, like Pomni changes different colors. For Kinger, homeboy shines, look at him go. So you get that duality of darkness and light. Interesting. So this overall episode, I see improvements across the board. The animation looks more polished. There's a really cool sequence with the eyeballs that are drawn in 2D. There's really great character models as far as like the angel goes, the ghost girl. The music is great. There's a scene where they're holding their breath that reminds me of like Spirited Away music. So, hey, that's a Studio Ghibli comparison. Well done. And at the end, the resolve being like, yeah, Kinger is a lot deeper of a character than we realized. And we see Pomni trying to, again, like, learn from these lessons and take peace and like, hey, Ragatha, thank you for always being so positive. There are layers to the show, and even rewatchability. Kinger and his pillow fort, it makes a lot more sense now because it's dark. Him wearing that bucket and actually like speaking like clear or with clarity in the last episode makes sense now in this new light. No pun intended. Just, again, across the board improvements, and especially with the voice acting, like Pomni's little squeaky voice when she's about to talk to the ghost, like, don't come alive, or whatever, and he goes, okay, I won't. Got a big laugh out of me.
Please don't come alive.
Okay, I won't.
The show, again, is very good at, like, being serious, but knowing how to use levity to inject some jokes, some lightheartedness, so it's not all just, down and sad. Good stuff. Kinger going, what? Been quoting that all week. So good.
What?
So at the end of the episode, in conclusion for that, Pomni knowing more about Kinger, having a bit more of an appreciation and perspective of her role in the digital circus, Zubul trying to find their, peace of mind with their body, and, discussing about dysmorphia. Kane kind of showing some cracks in the armor. That's a big one to me. I feel that Kane, there's more to him than we realize. I don't think he's the antagonist. I don't think he's the bad guy by any means. I think he's a red herring, and we'll discover someone who's pulling his strings. The mystery continues, but man, are they building up some amazing momentum and anticipation. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what comes next. My only concern, though, is that I hope the show doesn't become too predictable, which is such a minor complaint. Because looking at the rest of the roadmap, I think is this going to be just each episode for the next 5 episodes or 4 episodes, like Pomni with Gangle, Pomni with Jax, Pomni with Ragatha. I mean, I feel like it makes sense to get some character development, which, by the way, there's been excellent character development so far. And Pomni's once again, like, we as the audience put ourselves in her shoes because, she's also new to the world. So, I could be complaining about nothing. I just hope that it doesn't get repetitive in that regard. I don't think so. It's a way to frame things that make sense by using Pomni, talking to each character in each episode, moving forward with, hey, it's Gangel's episode, it's Ragatha. So, we'll see how it goes. So overall, folks, I feel that this show continues to make incredible waves in the animation industry. I mean, while the industry flounders and a lot of people who've done the traditional side of it, unfortunately are incurring the punishments of these stupid dinosaur companies who are being greedy, we see the YouTube model, bear fruit. And that Glitch Productions has figured out a path forward, and they're burning a trail, and hopefully others can follow in that success and use the same model to also achieve greater heights. That's why I want to continue to follow this show. That's why I'm a big supporter. I think we're seeing a game-changing moment here in the world of animation, and finally seeing it click over from the old model to the new. So that being said, I can't wait for the next episode. It should be about Gangel, who's like the most quiet one so far. I guess it'll be a real mask-off moment, right? I can't wait till we get to Jax, though. He's been really guarded and quiet. I've seen theories saying that Jax is actually the main AI. Who can say? I will find out. Something big is brewing, though. I can't wait for that big reveal and that mic drop moment in the show. It'll be worth it. But those are my overall thoughts about episode 3 of Digital Circus. What do you all think? What should my Digital Circus OC be? Maybe a floppy drive? I don't know. A little squeaky toy from the old Pixar shorts? Who can say? Tell me in the comments down below. I'll see you all next time.